Hello, everyone. So if you haven't seen part one, I have it located in the description and a tag for you to click on. But I would go watch that now if you want more context. But for everyone else who has seen it or doesn't really care, let's keep moving. So most of the time when I do episodes on this channel, I personally go to locations to check things out, capture film, do a lot of research, and then give it to you guys. But in the last video, I was in the middle of moving, unfortunately, and I didn't check things out for myself personally. I ended up relying on websites and other people's videos, and unfortunately, we paid the price for that. We as in the royal we, me and you. So without further ado, let's get started. On the last video, I talked about the abandoned Hidden Hills Lane mansion in Leesburg. And more than one person reached out to me about this location to say, stay the hell away from it because it's not abandoned in the way that I explained, or other websites explain. So there's an article from the website called KillerHerbX.com that was written this year in 2022 that states it's abandoned. Well, sorta. They say that the prince spent little time there and ultimately listing the sprawling residence for sale in 1996. A decade later, the mansion was part of a plan to redevelop the larger property as a private golf club, with the former home being transformed into a clubhouse. The proposal was ultimately abandoned, and the home remains privately owned, but essentially abandoned. Now, if you notice, the last part is easy to miss, but they use the word abandoned twice. Now, for those at home paying attention, you probably read two words that are very, very important and essentially unravel the whole point of this being on a list of abandoned places. It's called privately owned. Now, that article is in their list of abandoned places, but it fails to mention how it's privately owned. Now, thanks to the folks that actually reached out to me, I completely understand and I make no mistake in that understanding of how it's privately owned. They sent me pictures showing a sign that says, "Zero tolerance for trespassing," and it explains that trespassing will be viewed as a threat to persons and property and will be met with appropriate action and necessary force. Which to me sounds incredibly serious and isn't abandoned. It's not even just kind of privately owned, just to mention once in an article. I don't know about you, but I would rather get caught by the police than the homeowners after reading something like that. So thank you to the gentleman that actually mentioned that. I appreciate that you brought it up. And I'm sure everybody watching this now in the part two wishes that was in part one. I know I do. So obviously don't go to that location. It's still illegal, but now it's scary and illegal for different reasons. So let's move on. So secondly, with the St. Francis de Sales Catholic School, this is a similar story, but with a better ending. The folks that own that property have similar feelings about trespassing, but they actually teamed up with a service to give tours, or at least photo tours. And if you've watched some previous videos of mine, the man who gives the tours at this location also does the same tours at the President Heads Park. If you haven't seen that video, please go check it out as well. It's very interesting, and you'll actually see the common thread. So not only do they offer that tour, you can go sign up online. The location actually has a fence around it that was kind of visible in the previous video, and the owner's house can be seen right in the footage from before as well. So while these are some pretty big oversights of mine, none of the videos, none of the websites that I did any research on mention this information. So somebody actually had to come forward personally to say, hey, I'm reaching out to you just so you know, not everything you said is accurate in that video. And thankfully, it's actually something useful in the respect that people can kind of visit this place. You just got to call, email ahead, check things out yourself. Don't do what I did and just believe something on the internet and go, I trust this website. They've been good to me before. You kind of have to verify. Trust, but verify. Now that my move is over, I do apologize for the pretty big oversights from before. I am going to be making more videos and releasing some more content in the future, so please like, comment, subscribe if you found some value here. There's no shame in admitting you're wrong, and I think that's very important for people to do. There is shame in not updating things and pretending you were never wrong. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode.